go ahead and get started here, shall we? Okay, so we have lots of pickups to do. There's so much stuff it can't even fit in the frame without like having it fall away. So let's just get started because this is probably going to be a long one. So there's I think about 4 months worth of stuff here, maybe 5. I think it's probably more like 4, but lots of stuff. A lot of limited one stuff that has been long waiting because of the more larger orders came in. I think I got about like 4 of those. So yeah, that's one reason for a big fat increase. But let's get going. So Shin-chan, me and the professor on summer vacation. This is supposed to be kind of a spiritual sequel to a very relaxing Sony series. I can't remember how you pronounce it. But there were several entries of that, and this is apparently like a kind of a spin-off thing, except it's with Shin-chan instead of the cast for that. The Last Spell, this was a limited one title. It has a very nice looking sprite look in the background, so it looks nice. Sadly, you know, like I say, with a lot of limited one stuff, I don't always know everything about them. Some of them I just don't really know if they look. Now, this one I know some about, Toy Soldiers. This was basically the predecessor to that one game that Ubisoft did that had the He-Man and G.I. Joe's crossover stuff. This was very nice to actually get a physical release because it was originally, I believe it was originally a 360 download only, if I remember correctly. I might be a little rusty on that. Death Wish Enforcers. This is a very homage game to like a Sega Genesis arcade game. It was originally an arcade game with a Genesis game. This is a homage to a game that was an arcade game in that, where it's 4 player and you kind of walk side to side shooting shit in the background. That it looked very nice, so that's a nice one to get added in. Of course, you can't have a pickup video anymore without a Kimco JRPG that was ported from mobile. Though, to be fair, like I said, some of these are interesting and some of these look very plain. Looking at the background, this one, I would say this is like mid-tier from the aesthetics of that. It's not awful, but definitely gives that phone vibe, so I saw Black Clouds. I believe this is a full-motion video game. Yeah, these have been coming like it's been kind of weird how like full-motion video has been coming up like as an indie thing. That this one I believe was this was like a really strange. I'm not really sure how to put it. Like, it's supposed to be a tactical RPG, but it kind of has like the aesthetics of hatred. It's pretty bizarre, to be honest. Also, how you doing today, Dan? This was Young Souls. I think this was about like a pre-order from like a year ago. Don't really know anything about this. It looks like it's kind of like a beat 'em up kind of game. Hack and slash, maybe. Now, Blood Woots. Now, I do have the Switch version of this from Super Whale Games. Personally, I prefer having Sony versions a lot of times, and at the time, I just kind of decide, I think I'll get this version and look into doing some with the Switch version, probably. It's annoying when that kind of thing happens there, but doing okay. Hopefully you don't get any trees laying in your yard. Now, this is a Konami game that Limited One Games got. This is like a side-scrolling platform type game, it looks like, from the screenshots. That I don't know anything about it. I was kind of shocked to see Konami on it. Though, of course, now it's not as shocking with the Castlevania collections and the Contra collections now. But at the time, it was a little odd. Ruby, which anyone who's aware of Ruby is now dead because the company that makes it has been shut down. So, Whip fan base. I've always heard good and bad things about the series, so I'd never watched it myself. Vengeful Guardian Moonlight. Was this a limited? Yeah, this was a limited one. It was gonna be like it's sad to get, because sometimes they get the limited one logo on here, and sometimes they don't. They've one time said it's supposed to be in their policy not to put them there, but sometimes they sneak it in there. I'm not really sure. And it looks like it has really nice sprite work. It's side scrolling and that. Looks like maybe it kind of goes for the kind of Contra kind of era from the looks of it. Then a boy in his blob, the retro collection, which is this is the NES and Game Boy game, which are two separate games. A lot of people forget about the Game Boy game, so if you've never gotten the Game Boy game, this is probably a nice way. Hopefully, if it's not broken, you know, we're up to 3 recent releases that have problems on them. I'm getting kind of sloppy on that. Getting sloppy on that. Like, seriously, you think it wouldn't be that hard, but I've already done that rant already, so we'll move on. Let's see. This was a Red Arts game, Space Elite Force 2 and 1. This is supposed to be 2 games, I believe, or maybe it's 1. Let's see. Wings, yeah, it's two games of that, so it's a very just simple retro shmup game, nothing fancy looking now. So, you know, Red Alt games. You know, there was actually, interestingly enough, there were 2 Red Alt games that recently got delisted, which is kind of bizarro for more newer titles that have no IP licenses. Weird stuff. Now, here's a strange title. This was from a new company, a new limited company that, you know, a lot of people, you know, obviously gave it a lot of, because, you know, we've had 2 companies be, pretty meh. This, what were they called? Limited Legacy Games. Now, this is a point-click style game where you're supposed to just click your way around. Aesthetically, it's simple looking in that. I'm not sure if it's super amazing or anything that. What's the... I know, but I can't place it. It's Final Fantasy V today. Final Fantasy V's OST. So, I also, interestingly enough, I will be getting the PS5 version of this. It'll be for a giveaway contest. It's a test and a giveaway contest. So, I will probably do a live stream of the PS4 version and just do a playthrough of my own personal of the PS5 version, since that's being given for review purposes of its physicality. But that will be actually part of a giveaway. Only spoilers. Now, this I was excited about, the Ace Attorney Apollo Justice, since we did not get 2 of these games physically in America. Now, I don't know aesthetically if they use the 3DS models or not. I know with the 2D sprite ones, they updated those ones to a very ugly flash look to them, in my opinion. So I hope these ones are at least a little bit more accurate to the original. But I've always wanted to play the rest of the series, and you know, now I got the Sherlock Holmes ones that got ported, and now we got those. So aside from the one Edgeworth game that we don't have yet, I basically have the entirety of Ace Attorney now, which is exciting. So one day I do want to actually start playing those, because I used to really dig that series, but the second it went digital only, as much as it saddened me, I wasn't buying shit, like, because now you can't download them or anything now. That it's gone, so whipped. Soleil, Solgists. It's supposed to be like Soul and Justice combined that. I'm not really familiar with this one. I got from a GameStop sale. Then, of course, some who watch these pickups may know I already had Contra Rogue Corps on Xbox. This was a cheapo one, so I just figured I'd pick it up, because, you know, I'd rather get that over the Xbox anyway. I got the Xbox one with my my $5 thing, so it wasn't like it wasn't lost anyway. Outrunners, Vitals, this was basically to just fill up the slot so I can get free shipping. It is an online only game, so probably not anything amazing, but hey, it was only $1. $9.99. I needed to get free shipping, so it was better that than the like $10 fucking dollars it is for free shipping now. I mean, for shipping, not for free. It's like $10 to get GameStop shipping now, which is just fucking outrageous now. Agony. This was a game that caused a lot of controversy when it came out, so I got that one on the cheap. Honestly, I'm surprised that hasn't gone up. That's the kind of title I think will probably become a little valuable down the road if it doesn't get like future releases or anything. Ghost Song. This gives me vibes of that Creature in the Well game, but as far as I know, it doesn't have anything to do with them. But it was on sale at GameStop, so. Then I also did pick up Lies of P, so since I have a PS5 now, I thought we could probably make benefit of the PS5 version, probably. And I picked up that wacky Japanese game with a really long title that, you know, just gets shown to... Oh, wait, actually, they did put the whole fucking title on a spine. I give them some credit on that. I'm not really too familiar with this game outside of it just being, you know, it's a Japanese game and it has this ungodly long title. But, you know me. I love Japanese games. It's RPG, so can't go wrong. Random VGP sticker stuck in the middle there. So many stickers these days. Goodbye World. This is some kind of like point venture game of that where you're two developers. I got on sale at Video Games Plus. Fury Unleashed, which is another game I got, is the EU only one. This is a weird game because it's kind of like if Comic Zone was kind of like a Contra game instead. So it was interesting. It was on sale. Another one that was on sale is this cutesy little slime game where you like apparently like raise slimes or something like that. Got really cheap. Might be interesting. Now, of course, the cheap title, the new Tales from Borderlands. This game bombed fucking hard. Like, people whip this game apart. You can get this thing for, like, pennies now. It's like $1 or $2. Like, I heard it's just ungodfully awful. So, one day we'll probably sit down and just laugh. Because I honestly still think some of my favorite characters in Borderlands are from the first Tales from the Borderlands. I can't really say, like, I found many of the main characters of the main entries too crazy. Like, more like their powers are interesting, but, like, them as characters are kinda, especially with the original cast. The original cast, you know, just was really, because it didn't spend a lot of time doing world building. It just kind of set a place in the rest of the games, started doing more the world building. So if anything, at least 2 and 3's cast are more interesting than the OG characters. But yeah, I really liked the cast of the original game, and it's kind of like I heard this game really shits on them, like so much, like completely misses the point of like everything they learned. Monster Menu, this was an NIS title, and a wacky JRPG. Can't ever say no to one being on sale. Now, No Rules, No Escape, this was like, really being like thrown out there at the Danganronpa crowd. And it looked interesting. To my understanding, it has a lot of alternate endings and stuff. So I look forward to hopefully trying that maybe for like Halloween or something. Well, I mean, there's only 2 of them. There's the first and that one. But I mean, I liked the original Tales game. And I was really disappointed with what they did with the cast in 3 too. I mean, considering I didn't like what they did with the cast overall in 3, I have to wonder what the fuck they did with them in the second Tales game. Considering people said they're really awful. Like what was the name of the character with the robotic arm that Jack was like trying to fuck with? Like I heard his character was just his entire life lesson from the original game was just completely thrown out the window. And considering how he was in 3, I mean I could see that actually happening, because that was actually pretty much happening in 3 as well. So, oh lord. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. See, this was a trade for a bunch of packing material. It's just a hack and slash force I am aware of. Another pickup for packing material. This was a point and click series. Now, you might be saying, why do you have a second copy of Tales from the Borderlands Deluxe? Because during Black Friday, I forgot I grabbed a copy. So that's why I got 2 of them. Anybody want a copy of Tales of Borderlands? Yeah, I kinda oopsed on it. Luckily, they were just both fucking cheap as hell, though. So, I mean, it wasn't like it was a massive loss. But, I mean, yeah, when you get as many games as I has, it sometimes is easy to slip by. So, especially when you're buying a whole bunch of things on sale during Black Friday there. But let's see, a few loose discs. The Immortal Unchained from GameStop. Now this was a disappointment with no original case or anything. Dodgeball Academy had no case or anything with it. Shame. Process of Elimination. This was another GameStop pickup. This was again another game being targeted at the Danganronpa crowd. So I'm not very familiar with this one. It does have like an oversized booklet inside in that. So that was there's an oversized booklet in there, but nothing to. Oh, there's actually a reverse cover. That one doesn't scream mystery too much to me. But yeah, this one I'm not really too familiar with. Man, there's a lot of companies just doing these Danganronpa style games lately. I'll take a copy. 20 years from now, it may be the new E.T. Well, I don't think it'll be the new E.T. That's probably that one game that's delisted on the PS3, probably. The motorcycle one with beat 'em up shit. That'll probably be the new E.T. But yeah. The mini pieces of Mr. Koo. This is a supposed to be some kind of point-click game where you're looking for the pieces of this dude. Don't actually know much about, but it was on sale at Video Games Plus, so I snagged a PS5 copy. I think this was a Red Art release, wasn't it? Or maybe it was just a PlayAsia pickup. I can't really remember that. I think this was just the cheaper I got off PlayAsia when I think about it. Let's see. Then here's one that disappointed me. So this was supposed to be a brand new copy. Yes, I got another no cover art one from GameStop. So that's a third time of that. Now, this was $8. This was $8. So I overlooked it on it. Plus, I got my own revenge via Weapon them off as usual. Worldware? Was that what it was called? I can't really remember. It's like this awful game people always make fun of because it has like these awkward like sex scenes that people just made fun of and shit. Like, I can't remember what it's called. I did snag a PS3 copy of it from Walmart's used section back when they did the last reboot of used games at Walmart. I think I got it for like $5. I was like, yeah, sure, one day, probably laugh at. Now, I know what you're probably always laughing at. Yeah, there it is. Golem! Now, you're probably like, yo, shit, you bought Golem? Why would you buy Golem? Well, that's because it was a classic flip at GameStop, and I was like, well, you know, I can keep one copy since it paid for itself. So, maybe one day we'll play Golem for laughs, or someone will vote for it for me to suffer, I don't know. But it paid for itself, and I got money on top of it, and spare cases, and GameStop points, and Amazon points, and packing material to trade in, and all that shebang. So you know how that always is. But yes, Yes, Golem was on sale to trade in at GameStop for money. So, what better thing to profit off GameStop than awful games? Like, yeah, they were like $4.99 trading in for like $12. So I was like, sure, I'll buy some of those. And yeah, like I said, I guess why not? Spot a lot of wing shit. Maybe something interesting will come out of it. I know. You're probably like, oh lord. Dead Cells, the Castlevania edition, the new version of Dead Cells, with everything that exists to this point. And with them finally announcing Dead Cells won't be having any new content, will hopefully be the actual end, because this game has like 5 fucking versions of it. My lord, so annoying. But Castlevania is pretty awesome. I know Dan loves Dead Cells, so he's probably excited to see that. Better than board, man. Well, you can do it. I have it. I own it. I don't know if we'll like it. We probably won't. But hey, you know, it's not the first time I've liked a bad game that I disagree with you on it. I mean, I think all of us could probably point at a game that most of the internet thinks is awful and say it's good. Yeah, I know. You like Dead Cells, and that's why I said you're probably excited to see that one, because now it's the most complete version of it now. And, This series was originally PC. It's been getting a lot of its games, and this is the newest one of it. Really need to play one of them, though. It was something me and Dan was going to try and see about doing with Aaron, but then Aaron kind of just became non-existent, so maybe I'll just see if Dan wants to two-play it, maybe. He's been wanting to actually play something, so... See, right now, how many hard copies of it are there? Of Dead Cells? I'm pretty sure there's about 5 versions of Dead Cells now. It's kind of just ridiculous, to be honest. Like, I don't mind getting a new version down the road, but it's just like, come on, just fucking stop milking the fuck out of this. Please, some of us want to fucking just have a version at this point, you know? Do we really have to keep doing this? Speaking of it, so those, this was originally a PS1 game, and this is a sequel to a game that we did get in America, but we never got 2 or 3, so here they are, 2 and 3, realized in new Western versions with probably terrible localization. But, I don't know, NIS is always mixed these days with localizations. But then again, they always have, really, to be honest. It's just, in the beginning, it was more acceptable versus now, you know. But, I've never played the original. Aaron actually borrowed the original off of me and played through it a long time ago. It's something I also need to really get to. I always heard it's a pretty silly, shorty type game, so I don't know how crazy fun it is, or boring it is. I don't really know either way, but hey. Let's see. Maybe we should just cut this tall stack here down a little so we can get this towering hellscape lowered down here, shan't we? Let me get the stream wheels here thing real quick. That's a quest seal done away. Battle plans. I hate battle plans. It's always annoying. Battle plans are always annoying. I don't know about 5, but at least 3. Yeah, it's probably something you need to really do at some point, actually, to be honest. Let's see, below, this was on sale at GameStop. I think it was only like $10. There's this big box that, let's see, looks like it comes with a double-sided keychain, soundtrack, glow-in-the-dark sticker, some cards, a steel bouquet, so, but yeah, it was on sale at GameStop. You know, that's always what I say about GameStop is the only thing GameStop good anymore for is when they have these big, steep discounts. Now, you might be like, didn't you always get Dungeon Munchies? Yes. But did I get the limited edition on super fucking cheap? No. This was like $10, and I needed something to fill out the order for free shipping. I mean, I was basically going to pay $10 for shipping, so I was like, well, I don't really see anything else I really want, and I could keep this sealed and maybe trade it or something, so I was like, I guess why not? That's pretty much what I'm going to pay for shipping, so why not? Now here's Good. This was another freebie game, thanks to GameStop flipping. Super cheap, flips for money, and I kept a copy since I said, well, might as well. It looks kind of interesting. It looks like it's some kind of like, it's like from what I looked at, very little. I didn't look at actual gameplay, but from what I looked at, it seems like it's like an RTS survival kind of game. Not quite sure, but it seems kind of interesting. So, I've been meaning to actually pull up some video of that out of curiosity. Let's see. 35mm, this was a limited one game. I don't really know anything about it, sadly, so. Let's see, I think this was also a limited one. Yeah, this is a limited one. Again, don't know anything really about it, so that's a nope. Buddy Simulator 1984. This looks fucking weird. It has like some really trippy like background. Like it's like looking at a 3D image without your glasses of that. So it might be not really easy to tell in the camera. So looks kind of interesting. Horde Dungeon Munchies was pretty good. Yes, I have heard the same thing. The Good Life. The Good Life was oh, what was his name? The dude who did Deadly Premonition. This is one of his games. So this was originally a Kickstarter game he did, and Limited One Games teamed up with them to do the physical Kickstarter version and to do a version from their website, and that was a very long process of them eventually getting to the website version, but got that order on that. Deadly Premonition's guy like has all kinds of wacky weird shit under his book, so kind of curious to see what The Good Life is about, because I mean it gives you the impression it's just kind of living life, but you know, kind of have to wonder if it's probably gonna pull the rug under you. Haven't had anything spoiled about it, so I don't really know if it's gonna be good or not. Pong Quest, this was no limited one game. This is supposed to be some really weird idea with Pong, so don't know. Could be just some blah that. Now here's a game I've been interested in. This is supposed to be the quote-unquote Super Mario RPG fan game kind of thing. So it has this kind of puppet motif where all the characters are puppets, but it's supposed to be very inspired heavily by Super Mario RPG, so definitely looking forward to trying that one out. This one was a limited one, right? Yeah. This one, I'm not familiar. It has a really small pixel on that, so I'm not really sure what import takes about. Of course, the limited one Persona 3 portable modern version, which I really don't know what to feel about this, because I do own portable. Now, of course, the PSP has absolute horrible video output, so while I have all the means to actually record my actual PSP, the footage will look awful almost no matter what without insanely fancy gear on that. And this is supposed to be, you know, an upgrade to that, but, you know, there's questionable things they did to the aesthetics using, like, AI to upscale and shit. Like, though. Now, I would hope this is probably has a newer update with some of that stuff that was addressed, because when it came out, a lot of people complained about that shit, and they addressed some of that, so I really don't know. Like, I'd rather probably play this version just for the sake of more easier convenience and better output stream-wise, but I don't know. there's a reason to be kind of iffy about it too there. But hey, you know, I was gonna get it because, I mean, the PSP version's really expensive. So, who knows? Maybe I could just sell my PSP version, make some extra income. Speaking of, well, we were earlier about damaged limited one releases. Goggles Remastered, at least as far as I know, conformed with the Switch version, has a problem with one of the stages in retro mode where the game will reset back to the beginning title screen. Don't know if this applies to the PS4 version. Will be interesting to check on that, because if it is not in the PS4 version, it is another haha towards the Switch ports being blah. And it's just all no reason why I don't usually like getting Switch versions of shit. I mean, honestly, I feel like people are so more welcoming of broken shit on the Switch. And it's so weird to me. So weird to me. People are just so accepting of broken games like that. Like, Bloodstain was literally broken on the fucking Switch when it came out. Its physical version is basically worthless. And again, I know Kimco game for limited one games. This one is a tactics game. I don't think I've seen them do a tactics game. Aesthetically looks kind of meh. But hey, you know, at least I'll give them some props on being a tactics game. And another Kimco game. This one, yeah, this one's battles look better. The outside battles still look kind of mobile, but the inside battle looks kind of good. Now here's one I was excited about, Mr. Gimmick. If you are a big person in retro games, you probably know of Mr. Gimmick. It is a very, very expensive game, regardless of what region you get. And there was only 2 regions. It was the EU and the Japanese one. Both were very, very expensive. So honestly, getting Mr. Gimmick on newer consoles, I think, was a very good thing. Plus, it has, as far as I know, newer things like Rewind and stuff, which will help make those pesky endings easier to get. Because this has, like, hardcore fucking shit you gotta do for the happy ending. Like, hardcore fucking shit. So, good luck. Good luck with that. Ooh. Okay, let's get half of this leading towel. Oh my gosh, look how much Sony shit there is, man. And then we got the Atari Recharge Collection. These are supposed to be, like, update reimaginings of older titles. I don't know if these are too good, but, you know me. Fear of missing out. I'm so cursed by it. And now Kimco game. Man, I tell you, Kimco pumps these things out quick. This one doesn't look too bad. This one actually looks like you could actually fool me in thinking it might be a SNES game. That one actually don't look too bad. See, this one, I think, was a limited one title. You know, looks like it's some kind of point-click game, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that one. Levels. Now, this one's interesting. So when I found out about Super Whale Games, I had missed out on 2 of the releases and got the 3rd one. If I remember correctly, Levels was the 2nd title. It's also really fucking expensive for that version. So, yeah, I was like, oh, well, yeah, I missed out on that version, so this was a limited one. This is a cooperative game, I think up to 4 people. Yeah, 4 people, and you basically have to run this spaceship as 4 people with it, or however many people you have. So it's kind of a spaceship simulator kind of deal. This was, I believe, limited one. Yeah. So this is a first-person shooter. Looks like if you like Doom, slay the rhythm. Lock, load, and crank up the volume in the groundbreaking roguelike rhythmic FPS. So apparently there's also music gameplay, perhaps. That or it's just saying the music's awesome. I'm not sure. This, I believe, is a survival horror, like, side-scrolly kind of point-click kind of thing. That not really familiar with it. Maybe it's something for the spooky month. Bloodspore, I think. Sure, not Spore, sure. I think this is another FMV. Again, like, there's been a lot of these indie companies making these FMV games, which I know we're kind of up in the air with some things here and there that the other toy we charge. Again, it's a bunch of toy games we imagined. And then we got the Anniversary Collection Arcade Classics from Konami. But like I said earlier in the video, Limited One Games and Konami were doing a lot of things together. As you can see, we got a lot of shmups and, weirdly enough, Haunted Castle. Now, if you're a long-time viewer, you know I actually have the Japanese port of Haunted Castle, which was a Castlevania game. That's an arcade game. It is really fucking hard, regardless of what version you play. But the American version, which was only on arcades, was even harder than the Japanese one. So, yeah. If this has, like, rewind features on in that, that'd be cool. Because I actually tried playing through that, and it is fucking hard. I can only get to, like, some kind of rocky mountain area that I can't really remember. It's been a long time since I've seen, the gameplay of Haunted Castle, but it's fucking hard. Now we have our Portal, the indie Portal knockoff game. This is the 10th anniversary, which I think is supposed to come with even more content. I think there was a Super Whale version of this. I can't really remember that. I think somebody else did a version. It might even been Limited One Games themselves. The Black Look. Not familiar with this one. Probably Limited One. A fusion of card-based RPGs and adventure game. So it's some kind of card adventure game. That seems like an interesting idea. Now I'm familiar with the first game of this, which is not even really like remotely similar to the sequel. This sequel, from what I understand, involves a lot of like breaking the game, like finding out bounds and shit. Like it's supposed to be part of the game, but the first game was like a really interesting adventure game. Apparently Dan's having problems here. Yeah, I got 0 dropped frames, so the stream, as far as my stuff says, everything's going good on my end for once in my life. Let's see, Stellatum. This is a limited one. Man, they're all the way up to 64 PS5 games. Sheesh. PS5 still feels like a wasted thing to buy. I mean, like, still, I only got a PS5 because that new disc version needing the internet's stupid. If your disc tray dies, your console's a brick unless someone figures out a way around it. Which I'm pretty confident someone will, eventually. But that doesn't guarantee it, though. So, I basically just went, well, I guess I'm just gonna get the original model then. War Mongols. So this was a super cheap game off Woot.com. I think it was only $4, somewhere around there. It looks kind of interesting. It's a kind of war setting in that. I mean, oh man, it has war in the title there, but it's some kind of tactical. Looks like the kind of game it's probably better on PC, to be honest. Now, this company is pretty known for making a lot, or publishing a lot of cheap garbage, so kind of hard to say if it's any good. Was not flippable at GameStop, so I just, bought a version for myself. When are you going to get the PS2 pickups? Well, those, the ones that they're all are underneath this PSP stack. Over here and over here are some of the more older stuff. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of PS4 and a few PS5. Yeah, no. It's all Limited One's fault. Honestly, I wish Limited One was getting a lot more garbage more of the times, because, like I said, I am going through a more pickier phase where I'm passing up stuff. I'm passing up, like, about 30% wet art stuff, unless it's on a sale or something, and then I can sell it. I'm getting more to the point where I'm going to be increasing when I'm going to be passing at limited ones. But it's just a lot of times it's still... The difference between Wet Arts and Limited 1 is Limited 1 does not very commonly pick up shite games. They usually are picking up very interesting games in that. Which makes it hard to do that. There was that one with the clown that was like, yeah, no, I did that, eh. Plus, it's in retail anyway, so... If it gets super cheap, maybe, but yeah, but eh. Speaking, Wet Arts game, this is supposed to be one of those kind of mystical, story, experience-y, artsy kind of games. Looks kind of nice, so I picked it up. Let's see. Forgive Me, Father. Now, this was a PlayAsia pickup. It's a Europe only. This is a FPS that's basically if Doom was Cthulhu themed. That's probably the best way to put this. If it was Cthulhu themed, it looked really good from what I looked at, so I picked it up. Apparently, a sequel to it actually came out really recently. Anyway, let me finish this stack, and we'll do some other stuff. I know we've been doing a lot of Sony here all the way. Now this one, Nazmuza in the Mirage. This is a card game. It was pretty much on the cheap. It's a fighting card game thing and that. I'm not familiar with the anime, but it was on the cheap, so I was like, why not? Of course, Metroidvania goodness. I've been waiting for this to get a fucking physical release for a bajillion years. This thing has existed as a game, and here we are finally with it physically. If you like bullet hell games, like the how you pronounce them again? It's with a T. That I'm always bad at pronouncing shit. The Tahu. But anyway, this is a Metroid spin-off. It's very highly praised, and I'm just thankful to actually get it because it looked really good for ages and that. Welcome to Paradise. It's some really weird zombie survival management game. It's weird. Looks really fucking weird. It was cheap on PlayAsia, so I snagged a copy. The Church of Darkness. I believe this was limited one. Yeah, this is supposed to be some kind of weird mystery game or something. Let's see. And this is, of course, no limited one game. It's a shmup game. And another Kimco game. So many Kimco games. This one has like an evil overlord kind of vibe to it. And oh, it's a card building game. Aesthetically, it actually looks pretty nice though. So I'll give oh no, it's one of those each time for level 1. It's a mystery dungeon card game. Oh no, another Kimco game. Kimco, who you gonna call when you need a mobile JRPG? This one I think screams too much mobile vibe. And speaking of JRPG wannabes, you have, of course, the Cthulhu Saves the World devs making their newest entry, This Way Madness Lies. It's supposed to be some kind of like Sailor Moon kind of JRPG kind of thing. Supposedly uses the combat system from Cthulhu Saves Christmas, which should be interesting, because that was a bit interesting of that, but yeah, you know, new entry of that. I think he retired actually. His company I still think exists, but the guy who primarily was behind a lot of those games, I believe he retired, so he be gone. Okay, let's get a few other side things. I'm sure we're tired of seeing PS4 here or that. So let's get some other stuff. I found a new little store that I wasn't aware opened up in my area. Not really sure when it opened up, but it has pretty much all geekdom. It has statues, plushies, cards, lots of fucking cards, video games and stuff. So it looked like a nice little store. I've picked up a few things and kind of experimented with trading in with them. Very weird trade-in. Just to go over really quickly, that Gourd game, like I bought the 2 copies that I got that I was going to trade in the GameStop to see what they offered. They passed them up saying they were too new, which is like the weirdest reason I've ever heard of a store turning down buying a game. Then I bought this Wii with a whole bunch of games. 2 of the games I got, on the bottom, that's fun, that, was trying to get rid of all the Wii stuff. And they basically threw a flat, give me $50, I'll give you all of it. I looked over the stuff. There was 2 nitpicks I had, so I knocked it down to 45. So, I bought the stuff I didn't want to them to see what they'd offer for it. And they did take some of the games, which they gave me 50, I believe, for. So I pretty much made my money back and got some games out of it. But oddly enough, they didn't want the Wii. I could understand a lot of the shelfware titles that was with it, but they didn't take the Wii. The Wii worked, and I also took it to a pawn shop, and the pawn shop didn't want the Wii either. It was kind of really weird. I mean, I'm used to that kind of experience, like giving an offer on the whole thing so they can take everything and then try to make the most out of it. It seemed kind of fucking weird to me. So I still got a black Wii that I need to do something about, but hey, I made my money back. So, well, since I bought that up, let's go over the 2 titles that they get out of that. The Wii Mario Kart, I never had the Wii Mario Kart, and Mario Party 8. This was actually one of the games I did nitpick, because I need to buff it, because it looks awful. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. It has those, like, really deep circular scratches on the edge of the disc, and yeah, I can't see them in the video. That you just have to take my word. It looks like shit, so that needs buffed. Anyway, but I did get a few things from the store going over there, and I need to stop by this weekend to see, because I wanted to kind of go there once in a while. So one of the things I did pick up was Affiliation Academy for $10. It's complete and cribbed. Let's see, this was from Video Games Plus. It was just something to get free shipping. It was on sale for like $4 or something. Let's see, Simpsons World Wage was from Packing Material. It's cribbed, if I remember quickly. Yeah, it got the book and everything. Let me move that down. See, this was also for Packing Material. I'm not familiar with this. I think this was like a Resident Evil clone, so might need to double check that. Let's see. This was also a trade for Packing Material. I've never heard of this game. It's a war-looking game of that, but I've never heard of it. Seek and Destroy. Now I know the company. They made budget games, so it is cribbed. Has everything. What was the disc edition? I don't know if it needed cleaned. Come on, pop it. It's dusty, but it doesn't look like it has any scratches, so I don't know anything about this game, so could be good, bad. Now, Dan knows about this one. I did pick up at that game store DSX, The Conspiracy for the PS2. Don't know if he's very excited about it or not. For those who have been with the channel a long time, I did try to do the PC version from GOG, but I ran into a terrible problem where I couldn't read the fucking text in window mode, which makes the streaming part really hard to do if it's not in window mode, because I can't double check, see chat, or anything if OBS fucks up or anything, as it likes to do on this computer or that, so, you know, kind of leads to a bit of a problem. So, considering weeding is necessary, because there are times where there are codes and shit you need, I basically had to make the call to cancel that and rework the idea. Excuse me, need a drink of water though. But that's on the table if we ever want to do that. It's supposed to be smaller stage-wise, but still supposed to be the game in its entirety. Well, not entirely. The main stuff. The Artful Escape. This was, I believe, an IM 8-bit release. Yeah. This is supposed to be a very artful type game. That I don't know what gives you that idea. Anyway, I don't really know a whole lot about it. Several people from Does It Play recommended the game being pretty good, so just get stronger eyes, Grandpa. It's not my fault the text is small as fuck. I don't got a TV as big as my damn wall. I got normal sized TVs, which probably look like fucking OG Game Boys, the younglings probably. I don't know. Everything else looks fine on them, so... Anyway, Metroidvania. So this is a sequel to a game that I had already played from Red Art Games, which was more of a kind of a 2D Dark Souls. This is supposed to be a Metroidvania game. And it takes place after that game's ending, so probably I'll check it out sometime down the road. I did think that game was okay on a budget, but yeah, it wasn't amazing. So hopefully this will be a bit of a step up compared to it, hopefully. I believe it's actually the same size game, just more loading screens. Well, I'm sure there's more loading screens, especially if it's anything like Morrowind on the Xbox. This was from Play Asia. I believe it's a game that Judy is soft in, but got off Play Asia. It was just on sale. Looked like a weird little retro-y game. So this one kind of gives like a Ninja Gaiden kind of vibe to me of that. But it was on sale, so snagged a copy of it. Now this title is interesting. So this, the Google Stadia, this was a exclusive originally on the Google Stadia. This was a title that a lot of people gave some credit to, but when the Google Stadia died, then, well, this game went with it until they ported it to other stuff. So yay for games not being lost into the Ethernet. But yeah, there were probably some other exclusives that did get lost between the cracks on that, so yeah. This is actually an area that isn't in the... There's actually an area that isn't in the PC version, probably as an apology. Yeah, well, I mean, maybe it'll be good to play then. This is supposed to be some kind of mystery game as far as I understand. Maybe something a little bit more 999-ish. This is a foreign version, but it's supposed to have English on it. So. And this is supposed to be from that one card game anime thing. This is another one, but this one's for Metroidvania, which is kind of why I got the card game, because it was like, well, I'm gonna get this Metroidvania game, so I guess I might as well snag the card game. It might be interesting if I like it. Then we got, this is a modern version of a PS2 game. I do have the PS2 game. I also got the Switch version, because I was disappointed missing on a sale and got no opportunity for that. And like Pat said, the Switch version will probably be worth some money, so probably can resell that down the road, because Switch people love buying broken games, so why not? And on sale at GameStop, which, I mean, sticker obviously, but luckily is not devoid of its cover on that. The Star Ocean, the second story all. Those familiar with Star Ocean has a lot of weird versions. The first game from the SNES to the PSP is completely different, and Star Ocean 2 has had things of censorship and stuff and that, and there's a lot of new and changes and things, and some good, some bad, some are subjective, like making it easier or harder and stuff, so, but I hear good things about the version, but I do have the original PS1 version, which, I don't really know which one I would want to play, or play through them all and that. PS5, so it's, G-N-O-S-I-A. Not quite sure how to pronounce it. Genius? Ginosa? Not, yeah, I'm not sure how to fucking pronounce that. But, yeah. like, the very limited look at it, from what I understand, it's maybe something kind of like 999, and that don't necessarily completely quote me on that, but then, of course, we got more What? I don't know why he knocks on my door and then ignores me. Like, I don't understand why he... Like, I need to put a bigger sign on my door. Like, he never understands, never gives a shit, and I've told him he should call me if he really needs to talk to me, because he can't hear me through the door. Ugh. I really don't know why he, like, does that. I'm gonna make a bigger sign or something on that. It's not that Switch owners love broken games, it's just they don't have a choice most of the time. I guess that's a fair point, too, if you're not in a situation like me where you own most consoles. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. God knows, yeah. Either way. Of course, we got Trails games. Trails up the yin yang. Got lots of JRPGs. And as you can tell for the stickers, they were GameStop sales, which luckily did not forgo the stuff. Then a used game. This is a fighting game. I see it advertised all the time, but I never really seen anyone do videos on it. The Mega Man Legacy Collection of all the Battle Network games. I have a few of the Battle Network games. Honestly, I never got into the series, so I don't really have a lot of them. So maybe one day, give them another try on this, maybe. Don't know. I never really got into them. Tactics Ogres Reborn got super cheap at GameStop, actually. It was my last month with my my $5 coupon, so obviously $5 off $12.99, you know, I even got it cheaper. Now, I do have the PSP version of this. Now, something interesting to note about these versions of Tactics Ogre, each version of Tactics Ogre has done new and different things. So, the original Tactics Ogre was SNES Japan. Then it got a PS1 version that did get localized. It did get a PSP version that was localized. And then there's this version, which is, as you can see, localized. And each one has done different things. My understanding, the PSP and this version are some of the most biggest differences, with some unit stuff in that and making it much easier. Apparently, this version is the easiest version of this. So, not really sure if I would play this version, honestly. I don't know. It's kind of a tricky, like, a lot of times when they do these kind of things, I'd like if they had, like, the original experience difficulty and then the remastered experience or whatever. I mean, to give the Nintendo guys points for trying, they really want today's HD games. The one on the Switch, Battle Network 1 was okay, 2 was good because they fine-tuned some stuff after that. Like, the thing I got annoyed is, like, anytime I went to the network place, it's just a giant maze of everything looking the same. Like, I don't know, I just got lost all the time. And, you know, I played FPS dungeon crawlers, so, I don't know, something about it is like, I just get lost constantly. I don't know where the fuck I'm going at all. Maybe it was also, because I was younger, so maybe it was also some impatience. Maybe now that I've had more maturity under my belt, maybe it's not the same thought process. I mean, to be fair, it's been like, probably like a decade and a half since I played one, so. Want to play Asia's exclusives. This is a sequel to, like, this spooky, like, point-and-click game that they made on the Switch. This sequel got the PS5 version, so. Then Samurai Maiden, which is by the people who made Shinra Kagura. So this is basically the last game they've really made, so I guess you could call it the last real fan servicey game that's on the PS4, I guess. And of course we got Fatal Frame, The Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, which disappointingly does not have English on the disc. It was made available as a patch, which is ironic considering the cover art has English on it. What the fuck? Unless maybe my version's updated disc, I don't know. My understanding, they made the patch where you have to download it, which is really, really stupid. So, I do have that on PS4, and if I never correctly, the sequel is on PS5. But I do have a copy of that. I believe I got when I visited my sister the last time. Not the current residents, but the previous residents. Okay. Oof. Yeah. Okay, we went through a lot of Sony. Let's get like half of the Switch stuff here out of the way. Because we've been doing a lot of Sony here, so. Super Whale Games, we got the sequel to that detective, the Dark Side Detective, the Fumbling Doc. So, the previous game left on a cliffhanger, so we can continue that storyline of our epic detectives. Tinykin, this looks like it's some kind of weird little platforming game with little creatures in it. Let's see, the Fights in Tight Spaces. Super Whale Games is always like getting games I'm not really familiar with. Ocean's Heart, this was a limited one game. It has a very 2D Zelda kind of vibe look to it. I'm not familiar with it though. Steel Assault, again, limited one games. It's a 2D game. Not familiar with it. Now this one I was actually considering skipping, but I just decided, what the fuck. This is a way forward game. This is Extreme Sports. This was originally a Game Boy Color game. And as far as I understand, it's not very expensive, so it's not exactly the, oh my goodness, this is a must-buy kind of thing like Shantae 1 was. I believe this is another limited one game. Yes. This one looks like some kind of like puzzle game. It says like change of perspective, but yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Now this! Oh, this is currently going through Play Asia. This is very sad to me. So this is the first time I've ever got anything damaged from Play Asia. The package was fucking crushed. This was luckily the only game affected. But as you can see, the upper part of the case got crushed. And I'm currently going through customer service on this. This is Mugen Souls. We did get this for PS3, but it was censored. This is uncensored. So, yeah. Now, sadly, when it comes to the whole dealing with this situation now, they have offered me $5 coupon, which is, of course, kind of a slap in the fucking face, to be honest. I did ask them if they can get me a case and the cover art and send it with one of my packages. I'll be all happy with that. Since this is a game they themselves are publishing, that's something like Super Whale and Limited One Games have done with me with damaged stuff like this. They send me a case and new cover art. So they are looking into that as a possibility, and I'm waiting for word on it. Otherwise, I give $5 coupon, which is shitty. Very shitty, honestly. Very disappointing. I've never had anything damaged in Play Asia, and I understand it's the post people who did it, but like, it's just kind of shitty to be like, well, yeah, you have to deal with it. Shantae at the X Games, Woot. I don't think Shantae's a character in the game. That'd be a cool sequel, though. We just found out there was a sequel. That game gets hard. Oh, you didn't know there was a sequel? Yeah, I never heard about the sequel. It was one of the first digital devolve games that wasn't going to be involving the whatever the fuck their limited company branch was that basically closed down. Skateboard. This was an indie game that I hear is kind of fun, so I heard a little bit about that. The Neo Geo Pocket 2 collection. These are really nice to get if you never had Neo Geo Pocket. Neo Geo Pocket has some nice games. This one has not as interesting ones. It has a bunch of sports ones on it, but the Card Fighters Clash is nice on there. You got the Mega Man Battle on there. The Neo Pocket Coon. I'm not sure what that one is. But yeah, there's several sports games. So this one's kind of but you know, it has a few. I don't know anything about the Mega Man game, so that might be a good enough reason to get too. This is limited one. Don't know anything about this one. But yeah, I do like a quick look up when... Basically, these titles, I do a quick look up. If it looks interesting, I order it, and if it doesn't look interesting, I skip it. But like I said, a lot of times, Limited 1 games usually gets a lot of interesting games, so it makes it hard to pass up on some. Startup Company, the console edition, is like one of those kind of simulator kind of games. It's on sale. It was a PlayAsia exclusive, so... Sequel to The Fox Awaits Me. So, does it have the Fox Awaits Me Hana? So, I don't really know where this goes storyline-wise compared to the first Fox Awaits Me. I did like the first one. Like, it had pretty plain graphics and that, but I mean, like, I liked the story of it. It was okay. If the Iron Maiden mascot is a playable character in Tony Hawk's Shantae, Shantae could be one in that. Well, I don't know if she is. I mean, it was made by Way Forward, so maybe not. This, as far as I understand, is a point-click game, if I remember correctly. It's a weird detective mystery game. It's on sale on PlayAsia, so I snagged a copy of it. And I think we'll throw this one on here real quick, because it does have this extra... I have no idea what's in this. It is in a sealed envelope, but this game is a weird, like, tower climbing game. It's interesting. But, yeah, it supposedly has, like, random generating low, like, tower or that, so it's supposed to be interesting. So let's go ahead and see what's in this letter. I'm not sure what's in this. And I was saving it just for this. So we're gonna open this. Crackle, pop. Carefully take it out so the sticky stuff doesn't get on it. And let's see. Looks like it's card artwork. Yeah, it's just some cardstock artwork. Oh no, double-sided, so assuming these are all the characters. Probably should double check these just to make sure it's not anything too risque. Nice looking art. So cute. Oh, this one's adorable looking. Anyone knows me knows I like fox looking characters of that. Shocking. I know. Like like fox like girls, huh? So you like fox girls, do ya? That's a nice little bonus. This was a Wet Arts exclusive, so I got this from Video Games Plus, so that's nice, because usually you have to get those from Wet Arts to usually get most of the exclusive extra stuff, so. Okay, let's set that there. Oh, where are we at? Hour and 7 minutes. We still probably got, I don't know, about 40% of the stuff left, so let's get a few other retro things out of the way. So, I originally ordered... This was a free game with something. I can't remember exactly. So this is a Mobile Suit Gundam RPG. It is pretty worn out, but it does work. It does work. It has saved data way far in the game. It is... I'd say it's like Final Fantasy Legends like graphics of RPG. It's pretty Stone Age, but hey, it was a nice little addition with whatever I bought it with. I just can't remember. It's one of these Japanese orders I got came with it as a extra. 2 whiskey. It's all chibi artwork. Oh no! I did get a copy of Metal Max Returns. Exciting, exciting. Oh, that actually reminds me. Crap. I guess you just have to take my word. While on that, I do have the 3DS version of Metal Max 4, but it's actually inside my 3DS, because obviously I wanted to test it. So, I do got that too. It was just the cartridge only. So, with this in Metal Max 4, I now own all the Metal series. I did also get Metal Saga, which should be this one right here. So I now have all the Metal games, both Metal Max and Metal Saga. So I own them all! Every single one that's not a mobile game, at least. Speaking of risque things, you might notice this here. This is the sequel of the Halloween game we played. Live stream. This is live stream 2. Probably will play this Halloween too. Live stream is kind of, we'll see if the sequel actually turns out well. Anyway, back to the main thing. So this actually is a game that was localized. It's like Zelda with like a Torvin guy, and I think it had some RPG elements mixed in with it too, which is weird. It's like Zelda in RPG. It's like bizarre that, but that was cheap. I grabbed it. These are a bunch of Japanese games. So Oz, this is a JRPG. I have no idea if it has anything to do with actual Oz, but Then Tales of Destiny, sadly the case is a bit cracked. This was a cheapo. Now, you might ask, why do I have Tales of Destiny for the PS1? Well, long, I mean super long. Viewers might know of a story I've told. Well, I used to actually have a loose copy of Tales of Destiny for America. And in my young naivety of believing, and this is why I have such a grudge against the guy I traded GameStop stuff to, like, when I used to get dumpster dive stuff and that, like, why I never wanted to deal with money with him again. He had a customer that was interested in the game, so he wanted to get the game off me, sell it to him, and he was going to get me a better copy in the future. Never did that, and never fulfilled that promise, and if he ever cared about that promise, up to this point, he would have done it a long time ago, just to keep his word. So, I've always considered him a dishonest piece of shit, so that's why I don't ever deal with money with him, really. And I traded him GameStop dumpster dive stuff for years, and now I just give him my packing material and that, so. But, yeah, he never kept his promise, so I always considered him a con artist, because of it. My young naivety years, I mean, like, I was still in school, like, we're talking about a long time ago. So, yeah. So, while I had beaten Tales of Destiny, but I was kind of like, yeah, this is really cheap, and I'm getting a bunch of these other games, so I just decided to snag it to kind of fill its role of being my PS1 version of it. So, speaking of which, Chocobo Racing, which is one of the few Squire soft games for the PS1 I never got. It's not ungodfully expensive, but like, I don't really want to pay like $50+ for Chocobo Racing. So I got a non-booklet version of the Japanese version. I mean, it's a racing game. You don't really need no fucking English that badly, right? And while on that note, a lesser-known game, another Chocobo Racing game, Chocobo Stallion, which is an enhanced version of basically the Chocobo Racing game from Final Fantasy VII. Now, this is a vastly lesser known game in America because it never came out in America. Now, I actually don't know a whole lot about this other than it existed, but they had a cribbed version for fucking cheap as hell, so I was like, sure, why not? I'll get into that one in a second. Let's see. That's a soundtrack with that one Switch game. And, okay, that was all those. Okay, I wanted to make sure I couldn't remember if there was any other. Now, here's a weird one. Lucky Luke. I know this game solely because some company made a bunch of emulated PS1 games available on Steam a long time ago. And that's where I heard about this game. And it is a very weird, like, point-and-click Western game. So, this is cribbed. It was, I believe, $10 at the pawn shop. So, I went and snagged that. I was kind of like, oh, it's nice condition, everything cribbed. So, yeah. Let's see. I had a guy at the card store do that to me. I pulled a Super Whale card. He was like, "Hey kid, if you want to trade that card to me, you can pick any other card in the store for it." See, the difference, though, is he promised to get me Tales of Destiny, like a more complete version, because I had a loose disc, as like a return favor, the quote-unquote, I'm trying to satisfy a good customer, so you give me that now, and I'll give you a better version down the road, and yeah. Of course, it did help with the whole, so when this happened, he was in charge of Game Exchange, which was a great store. I really miss Game Exchange because they actually repaired systems. I don't know if they do it now. They still exist. There was actually a Game Exchange where my sister currently lives now. Very different looking inside. I don't think they fix stuff anymore. It didn't really look like they did, but I should have asked, but I didn't. I thought about it after I left. I was kind of like, oh, I should have asked if they still repair stuff. That would have been interesting knowledge to know. But anyway, he was in charge of Game Exchange at the time. And the thing is, at this time, while he was still had not fulfilled this promise yet, he basically got fired for supposedly stealing money from the store and funding them into other things. So he got fired and sued. Now, I don't know what came of the lawsuit. He still does game stuff, as you know, because I trade my packing material to him. But I don't deal with money shit, and I hold him to very low swindling. Yeah, I don't. Like I said, if he really cared about his ward, he had many years to fucking make up for that promise, and he never did. So I've always considered him a swindler, and that's why I don't deal with money with him unless it's just on top, like, you know, I'm giving him a bunch of packing material. I want this rare JRPG he has, and I'm just throwing in a 10 or 20 to make it easier. You know, that's still better than paying $90-something, you know what I mean? But otherwise, I basically never deal with money with him. It's very rare. But, yeah, I've always considered him a swindler, because of that. Because I considered him very disrespectful for that, so. So, yeah, I screw him over as much as I can within reasonability. Like, I'm not, like, screwing him over bad, it just. You know what I mean. Anyway, but, anyway, another game I got from him, was the Sonic Widows for the original Xbox. I do have the Kinect version. I think this needed, yeah, it's a really rough looking disc, so if I ever want to play it, I will need to buff it, but hey, it was a freebie game, so. And why on that, so this is the Metal Saga on the DS. It is cribbed, yay. I would have loved to do this for all the Metal Max games, but fucking Metal Max games are expensive. I mean, Metal Max 4, that game I paid $60 for. It's normally like $120 on eBay. It's ungodful, and believe me, I did a lot of up and down checking to make sure it's fucking authentic because of that. But as far as I can tell, it's authentic. But yeah, some NES stuff I got from him as well. Gumshoe for the NES. I never actually owned a copy of it, so I got that. Dash Galaxy. Don't know anything about this. It stays, so it might be something interesting. And the codename Viper. I've seen this a lot. I don't think I own a copy. If I did, though, these were freebies for packing material, so, you know. Sometimes I get some dupes from him, because, you know, at least I can get some and probably trade them in somewhere else. So that. And, well, on that note, I did get some random cases, too. Spare case for Death Jr. I'm pretty sure I have some of the handheld Death Jr. games. I don't know if I had this one, but yeah, it's everything but the game. So if I do have it, I can complete it. I have to double check that though. He actually had a loose Sega Saturn case, so he said I could have it. So I'm not gonna say no to a Sega Saturn cases. They're kind of hard to come by these days. And then a coup de grace that I just got yesterday that I ordered, the Wizardry Saga. So this is Wizardry 1, 2, and 3, and it actually offers English subtitles as an option on it. So that will be very interesting compared to the NES version of Wizardry 1 that most people are familiar with. So that should be interesting. Okay. Oof. It's hard to believe. Are we almost done? Not really. No drink of water. Oh my lord. So much stuff. Okay, moving on. No Kimco game. Yay. This one... Yeah, this one has mobile look. I don't think that one's getting away from the mobile look too easy. Ooh, excuse me. And we have Triple DX. This was a Game Boy Color game, if I remember quickly, by Sunsoft. So I don't have it, so I figured, why not? This one I'm not actually familiar with at all. It was a limited one game. It looked very nice in the screenshot, so I go snagged it. This one... This is supposed to be a Metroidvania game, if I remember correctly, so I'm always down for Metroidvanias. This one I don't know anything about. It's been on sale on, like, Amazon multiple times, so... This one's a bit of a whip, honestly, when it comes to that. So, like, if you didn't know, Limited One Games has an Amazon page now. Because they're putting out so much shit, they need to do something to sell some of it, you know. So... even Video Games Plus, Video Games Plus is actually doing a sale right now. Blood Bowl 3, the Brutal Edition. So, this was another GameStop flip pickup. So, I picked up PS4 and PS5 versions of this and sold them all and kept a PS4 version. No, wait, was there PS5? No, I don't think there was PS5. I don't think there was. I can't remember. Some of these I don't remember that, but either way, I flipped them and I kept one copy of that. Lego Brawl's been on sale in a lot of places for like $5, so you know I picked it up, $5. That's all white. This is another Metroidvania. This is from that the VGNY soft, yeah. So, you know, again, can't say no to a Metroidvania. Metroidvanias are very rarely not fun. We are off. I don't know anything about this. This was a I am 8-bit version, so don't know anything about that one. I heard good things about this one. The Behind the Flame, another very artsy type game. I heard this one's very nice. It's again I am 8-bit. This was a cheapo at Woot.com. I think it was $5. Dooms of Day. It says it's like a turn-based tactical game, so I was like, yeah, well, $5, I can do that. And we got some of the Woot.com stuff there. That was some for more copies of Clash of Artifact Chaos I picked up and flipped. Let's see, Evernights, think I got this from Woot.com, I think, or Amazon, I can't remember. Then, wait a minute. No, what? Wait a minute. Didn't I show that off? Why at the? Oh my goodness! Did I actually somehow buy a duplicate of a fucking Limited One game? I think I bought that off Woot.com. Oh my! Oh lord! Oh my! Oh my goodness, I have to double check that. I could have swore that was like the first thing I picked up like an hour and 30 minutes ago. Ah, shit. How the fuck did that happen? I got swindled by myself. Shit. This game, I've heard some good things about from the people from Does It Plays. It was on sale on Woot.com. Picked up a copy. I know I got the Switch version of A Short Hike, but there was a release of a game, it should be in the stack over here, that they did not do a bundle of, so I just decided to buy this and 2 games they had on sale with it to kind of make up for the purchase a little. The complete version of Broforce that has been long delayed a bazillion times from the company, the Special Reserve Games, that's what they were called, from Digital Devolver's Limited branch. This was basically the last game before closing shop and just focusing on retail, which I think was for the betterment of them. Ghost Trick. So I do have the DS version of Ghost Trick, and I will probably not really think this is going to be a better version to play, but considering the DS version is very expensive, from what I could tell, I mean, it doesn't look drastically, like, aesthetically different, but to be fair, I haven't really sat down and watched a playthrough of it, but if I was going to replay the game, I would love to replay the game. I mean, it's been a long time, it was a fun game, I loved it, so it'd be interesting to check out. I believe this was a visual novel, it was a limited one game, don't really know anything about, you know, weeb stuff. Weebs! More Metroidvania goodness. This is a sequel to another Tahu, one that is very gothic looking at that, so. It had a new update. The joke is they were waiting for this update to come out to make the physical release of, which of course I appreciate, but the joke was it took them forever to get to that point, like ever and ever. It was a hell of a journey getting there with that, so. But they eventually got there with that. Then we got the Tokyo Remembrance. This was a game I actually kickstarted. So I have a DRM free PC version, but they put it on Switch now, so I was like, oh well, I'll buy that for $1. No, okay, wait, it wasn't for $1, but Beacon Pines. I don't know anything about this. Has a nice looking artwork, but I don't really know anything about it at all. Let's see. Course to Golf. This is just such a weird idea. So you know me, I'm always down for funky ideas. Then we got the complete version of Alien Isolation. This is supposed to be Alien Isolation and all of its DLC that it had. Loaded with all 7 DLCs, including Last Survivor, recreation of Ellen Weeple's final mission on board. So, I don't know if this will play really well compared to the PS4 version, but it's always interesting to see when a very, like, I don't know, a game you wouldn't imagine being on the Switch actually on the Switch competently. Like, they exist. I mean, Dragon Quest XI exists. They exist. It's amazing when they do. I don't know if that's going to be one of them, but it's supposed to be complete. You would think it's hopefully all patched up as much as possible compared to when it came out, I imagine. This was another Woot.com. It was on sale. Was not flippable, but I did buy a copy for myself, so. Okay. Let me get this next fight going here. Still lots of things. Still lots to do. Ooh, excuse me. Then we got Will You Snail. Now this was one of the One Gun Jump and Gun games I already had. These were on sale and I bought them, and I'm basically kind of hoping I could trade them in for some extra money of that. It's kind of what I'm hoping, but we'll see. And then this was the game that did not come in any bundle. It actually ironically reminds me of that the short trail thing. But yeah, this was a celebration for I think the 100th title there or something like that. Yeah, this was the 100th title. So yeah, they didn't do any bundle with it, so that was kind of a shame for me because the shipping is expensive. So getting the bundles is usually beneficial. Civil, this had a Vita version, and well, as far as I can understand, the Vita version required you to play in the handheld and not in the Vita TV. So I'm assuming this version has options in TV version. So. This was a limited one game. I don't know anything about this. It looks like it's some kind of visual novel, that. So, weeb stuff, that's not always that bad. And then, I think this is a shmup. kind of actually hard to tell. The screenshots are so fucking small, but it has a really cool Japanese art style. I think it's a shmup game, I believe. Not absolutely 100% sure. Switch cases are so fragile and collapsing. Ay, caramba. Oh well. That's fine. They didn't do anything bad. They're just thin. Anyway, we do have one last thing to show off here. And there's still quite a bit. It's not as much as all that, but we have some games and non-game stuff. So, there's a little extra treat. So this is a package from Jimmy Hopper. So, if you're not familiar with Jimmy Hopper, he's a long-time YouTuber, and he is an awesome guy who lives in Japan, and I bought some stuff from him. Now, I believe this was the third time I've bought stuff from him, so this stuff has been in a long time holding now. He's had half of the shit in his possession for me for about like 3 years. So this has been a long time coming. But he is planning on moving, and he did need to actually lessen his coffers of transportation. So now I only bought games. All the non-game stuff in here are extras, and there's a few other extras in here too. So let's see. So these were all extras. I'm assuming this is a demo disc. It has that rabbit jumping game, and it has 102 on the back. So I'm assuming this is a demo of the two games. Not 100% sure. We got Tomb Raider 2. I think these are demo discs as well. These are interesting cases because it has like the kind of how PlayStation had its cover stuff a bit, but it's interesting, like it has an actual like thing for the thing to slip in a different way. But I'm not 100% sure if this is the game or a demo. I do like the disc though. Like that seems like something Dan would probably like. But yeah, I'm not really sure. Then there's something similar here with Loud Arms. Again, it's the same kind of similar deal where it has that kind of interesting lip for the cover art thing. And then this, if I showed you this and you couldn't read the title that's on the side, you would probably never guess what this is. But this is the Grand Stream Saga, which actually did get localized in America. And again, I don't know. Now, this one does not have the little lip thing for that. But, yeah, I don't know if these are demos. I mean, they say not for sale on them, so I'm pretty sure these are demo discs, but I'm not really sure. I do have a Japanese PS2, so I could easily toss them in to find out. It might be interesting. This was originally something Jimmy was holding for me, and I had the opportunity to get one off eBay for a really cheap price, and I took it. And since Jimmy finally reached out to me about actually shipping this stuff out, I felt bad because I had actually bought this when he was holding on to it for me. So I told them, I'll still buy it if you sign into that, like, because you were holding on for me and I feel bad. He just decided to toss in as an extra with us signing it. If you don't know, he also signed my PS2 copy of Wizardry as well, so now I got 2 things signed from him. But yeah, this is not normally a lot in Japan, so he just kind of tossed it in anyway. Some other things, some stuff he actually did videos on. This is like those kind of Infinite Wonder kind of things, is hilarious. This is interesting. I've never gotten a foreign copy of a HUD card for the TurboGrafx. So this is interesting. It's absolutely sealed. So this was another game Jimmy reviewed, The War of the Dead. It looked very interesting. It's apparently really buggy, but I was really interested in it. Like, I like survival horror RPGs. It's such a undermined idea for RPG setting. So I really like them when I see those kind of things, like Sweet Home and that. So I thought it was really interesting, so I wanted to get a copy, and that's what he had. So Crime Crackles. This, if I know quickly, was actually related to another game he did a video on. And that one game, if I know it quickly, is very expensive, but this one wasn't, so it was something I just decided to get. So it's cribbed. And another game that Jimmy did a review on was, this is very short if I remember correctly. This I could probably actually do in a day or something probably, but I wanted to get a copy. He said it was pretty cheap in the video and that, so I snagged that from him as well. Now, some of the things he'd been holding for quite a while for me, for some of the only Suikoden games I don't own, the 2 visual novels for the PS1. These were never localized in America officially. They probably do have fan translations. I would love to actually go through these. I'm not quite sure how I would do it in a stream though. But with these, I own all the Suikoden games now. So, very excited to at least check these out. I've never really watched a video on them, and I don't know a whole lot about the story that happens in them. If you're familiar with Suikoden, you probably recognized that some of the characters on the cover art. They're Suikoden 2 characters, which is a lot of people's favorite entry. It's a really good game, don't get me wrong, but I always thought the villains were more lazy or because they were so blatant. Well, the first game's a lot more, are you really the good guys here? Suikoden 2 just literally starts off like, yes, we're evil, there's no question about it. So, you know, I thought the villains were a little step down, but it's still a very enjoyable game. Speaking of getting stuff completed, we also here get another game series completed here with these 3 games. The original Kingsfield 1. Now, if you're not familiar with Kingsfield, Kingsfield is considered the predecessor to Demon Souls, aka Dark Souls, so it is considered a, like, if you want to play the granddad kind of vibe of that. Now, we never got Kingsfield 1. Our Kingsfield 1 is Kingsfield 2, and our Kingsfield 2 is Kingsfield 3. So, yeah. So, I do have Kingsfield, our version of 1, which is 2, and our version of 2, which is 3, and I have the PS2 one, which is 4. But I never got Kingsfield 1, like the actual one, so here we are. Kingsfield 1, and on top of that, the only other 2 Kingsfield games, Additional 1 and Additional 2 for the PSP. All cribbed and complete. All nice snags. Then we have some PS2 stuff. Namco X Capcom, which takes place before the 3DS crossover game with many of the many returning characters from that. So, this takes place before that. We did get localization of the 3DS games. We never got this though, so that was good to snag. Now this, I need to still get the PS1 game of this, this musical game with this rabbit. Apparently the PS2 game's been going up in price. His version was sealed. When he first told me the price, I was kind of like, I'm not sure if I want to grab that, because this was something added. Like I said, he's selling some stuff, so he showed me a bunch of stuff he's also selling. But when I looked at the price he was selling it to me was the opened and more loosely priced. So I was like, oh, well, I guess in that case, it's kind of a steal. So I went and nabbed it. No add-on to that was this Earthseeker. I have never heard of this, and it is by Interblame and Katakawa Games. So I looked it up. It looked pretty interesting, and I like the graphic aesthetic. So that was really cheap. So I don't really have a way to play Japanese Wii games. I might when I go to Japan this year. Something I might like to check out, depending on the prices, would be to either pick up a Japanese Wii U or a Japanese Wii. both of those have their ups and downs. The thing I want to check out is how many exclusive Wii U games are interesting. Because honestly, the third-party scene in America was awful. I don't know what the third-party scene in Japan was like, but I mean, I kind of want to say if I get a Japanese Wii, I'm going to get more out of it, because I got access to the Wii and the GameCube. I have, like, no Japanese GameCube games, but there are a lot of interesting Japanese GameCube games. And that, I feel like, might kind of trump over whatever amount of interesting imports may exist on the Japanese Wii U, which I don't really, like, think of it, I really don't know any Japanese exclusive Wii U games that I even know of. That's not to say there aren't any, I'm sure there are, but I don't know of any, so I'm kind of debating on that. But I would like to get one of those two options. The Something RPG, this is a sample game from those masterful D3 people. It's a mystery dungeon woe style game, I believe that. But yeah, it's a cheapo game. And then he threw in the soundtrack for the Suikoden visual novel here. So that's a nice little addition, I believe. Is it one of those? Yeah, it's one of those 2 CD cases of that. So that'll be interesting to check out. Like I said, I've never actually seen video of the visual novel, so it'll be very interesting that I'm a little familiar, because it is about these two characters, which if you're familiar, she's a vampire, and I think I'm trying to remember what his role was. He was a traveling knight, I believe. Because the vampire hunter guy wears like a black cape and hat thing. He looks more Belmonte, goth Belmonte. And then of course you have Victor, who's also after the Nickelord. But anyway, these two are like in a relationship kind of thing. Either way, the point is, and they're the more main focus of it. So yeah. Something else I added to stuff he was holding, Groove on Fight. This is an Atlas fighting game for the Sega Saturn, and it's actually kind of expensive, so it's probably up there on my top 5 things I spent too much money on. But, and then this was a really weird point-click game for the Saturn. The Saturn, like, looking at the gameplay, it looks interesting in that. But, yeah, it's complete, got all the discs, and then as usual, like, I'm always amazed how well people take care of this stuff in Japan compared to America. Finding old retro shit like this ain't fucking destroyed is always a miracle. And then, the last video game, Uppers, which got cancelled for the Vita in America because this was when Sony decided to become a bunch of California dweebs who can't stand anything relating to maturity, theme, story, or character development, leading to the downfall of boring characters that we see in a lot of newer games nowadays. So this is a beat 'em up. This is by the Senwa Kagura type people. So it's a marvelous games. And yeah, so this did get released in America on Steam still, but the Vita version never saw the light of day because of Sony's insufferable betrayal to their own home country. So I wanted to get the Vita version for a while, and there we go. So some other extra goodies Jimmy threw in here. First thing, let's get the really big thing here out of the way. So you might wonder, what in the world are these really big squares? These are hand towels. So you got the Fat Moogle towel. Then you got the Seven Heaven towel, which was the name of Tifa's bar, if I remember correctly. And then you got the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth towel with Shinra's main building there in the background. And there's a fourth one with Moogles and Cactuars and Chocobos you can see on the bottom there. So kind of a silly little ads though. Does it like say how much these normally are? No, it doesn't seem to have a price listed, so I'm not really sure what those normally go for. some other extras, some cotton stickers. We've gotten numerous cotton games from Strictly Limited Games, so maybe he took a guess on that. Would probably have those. And then, of course, we have Schindler the Wanderer, a mystery, the old grandfather of Japanese mystery dungeon games. It's one of those kind of reflecting kind of pieces of artwork that kind of, you know, you see a little different depth to it in that. So obviously you're not going to get that in the camera very easily. Then we have a very familiar looking Namco character, if you're familiar with Namco characters. His last stuff I bought him, he gave me several little figurines of characters. And we got some, I think these were coasters in this little box here. Japan, I swear, just makes all kinds of things, like the little, the little chain things, little keychain things. I only took a quick peek out of that, like the little rubber keychain things, the Vincent Valentine, Barrett Wallace, Cat Safe. Yeah. Japan always gets all kinds of knickknacks, I tell you. Knick-knack, pow wax, give a dog a bone. And then, if you're familiar with the little retro model things that they did, you know, and funnily enough, when I saw this in the box, it reminded me that way back when they first put these out, I remember he was excited about the Tifa one, and I asked him if I could get a Tifa one, and I actually forgot about that when he contacted me about these games he was holding for me. So I'm like, ah, crap, I forgot about that. You know, that Kate Sith one looks really nice too. If I buy some Sid, Kate Sith, and Tifa would be all nice ones to get. But this is Yuffie in the save spot. It's kind of funny they put the save spot with Yuffie. It's like, Yuffie, nobody wants Yuffie. Just put the save thing with all people will be like, oh man, the save state. Nah, like Yuffie's not an awful character, but I guess to be fair, she is probably the more underdog of the cast. I mean, a lot of people like Tifa, Aerith, Sid, Barrett. Like, the cast is good. It's just, I think that she gets overshadowed by a lot of the more other characters and their personal problems, or more relatability, or just being fanboys. I mean, like, yeah, she's pretty much the underdog in every direction, because, I mean, basically she just has big, like, father complex trying to make her nation better, basically, or, like, whole plot development. So, I mean, compared to, like, a guy trying to save the Earth, guy overcoming his broken dreams, Tifa. I mean, seriously, do I really need to explain Tifa? But, yep. There we go. That's everything. That is an hour and 47 minutes. Wow, I expected this to be long, but damn. But yeah, that's all the new stuff that's been needing to be shown off for quite a while now. Lots of interesting pickups. Definitely, if for some reason Jimmy Hopper somehow watches this, because I remember him actually making a Twitter comment, if I remember correctly, the last time I showed off his stuff he sent me. So, but if somehow he's here seeing this, thank you for the extra goodies. Thank you for holding off on the games that I asked for and that. I definitely appreciate it. I always felt bad you're holding all that stuff, but you always kept saying you're busy and then such and that, and you know, I understand that, so it's all cool. But hopefully your move goes well, and I definitely look forward to the possibility maybe meeting you when I go visit Japan. That would be awesome as fuck. Anyway, though, I'm hungry. It's starting to always get late in the day. Man, like I said, I expected this to be long. I do want to still do a little bit more streaming today, probably a little later today, so we'll see. I want to see about probably finishing up whatever other endings and shit with plumbers, don't wear ties, and get that thrown away as quickly as possible. But we got a lot of new games to get added to the list and stuff, and I'm sure some people are seeing some stuff here they would like to get voted on the Friday stream and stuff, and things for holiday occasions and things. So lots of goodies, both from far and near in the realm of gaming. So until next time, be safe out there in the proving grounds. Thank you for joining for the pickups video. And until next time, see you out there in the ether.